My name is Michelle Sandford, and I'm part of the Azure Developer Engagement team here in Australia. I have pink shoulder-length hair, and I'm wearing a black t-shirt, and my pronouns are she, her. I have with me today an incredible panel of young leaders making an impact in their careers and communities, a Microsoft Learn Ambassador, Sahiti Kadali, Microsoft Power Platform MVP, Ashley Colmsley, and a previous grad hire and now Associate Cloud Solution Architect, Gia Kitnatsu. There's going to be a Q&A at the end, so if you have questions, pop them in the chat throughout. We would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the various lands on which we live and work throughout Australia, and the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people viewing this event today. We pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging, and recognise and celebrate the ongoing cultures and continuing connection to land, waters and community. Our respect also extends to all First Nation and Indigenous peoples, as well as their ancestral lands. We're grateful to those that have created pathways for us to live and with the many benefits we experience today. And speaking of pathways, I have invited you all here today to talk about career pathways and making an impact on our communities. So let's get started. Sahiti Kadali is a Microsoft Learn Ambassador, a first-class honours degree student and a data science intern who played a leadership role in the 2021 Microsoft Student Accelerator Programme, which accepted 1,600 students this year. Welcome, Sahi.
Thank you for introducing me, Michelle. It's great to be here. And for our vision impaired listeners, I have black waistline hair and I'm wearing a black shirt. And my preferred pronouns are she or her.
Sahi, tell us a little bit more about your role as a Microsoft Student Learn Ambassador.
Sure. So I'm a recent graduate from software engineering at Macquarie University, and I've been a Microsoft Student Learn Ambassador since 2019. And as a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador, our main goal is to spread information and knowledge about Microsoft technologies and help build a supportive community where students can develop their skills by learning from us and each other. In Australia and New Zealand, we have a program called Microsoft Student Accelerator, which involves 3 boot camps and additional career building workshops which help in their career. So this year we had 3 topics on which we conducted boot camps: Azure Fundamentals, IoT, and Artificial Intelligence. And the participants need to pass a certification and complete 2 projects showcasing their skills, gaining points to graduate MSA. And as a leader of this program, I got the opportunity to organize events, communicate with technical teams, marketing teams, collaborate on the work in there, and do presentations, social media, and decision making and more. And this program was entirely run by ambassadors and interns, so it was a tremendous opportunity to make an impact on my community.
That is amazing, Sahi. But tell us, how do you get to become a Microsoft Student Learn Ambassador?
So there is a website called studentambassadors.microsoft.com. So it is solely dedicated for this program. Anyone can apply as long as they're a student and above 16 years of age. You have to answer a couple of questions and submit a 2-minute videos on your passion and why do you want to be an ambassador and how you can contribute to community. It's important that you present your thoughts and ideas clearly and communicate with enthusiasm and be yourself. They say only 30% of applications are accepted, so I was really proud to get in.
Well, you should be. Which brings me to our next awesome guest, Ashley Colmsley. Ashley was the youngest MVP in the world at the time she got her first award, and it came hot off the back of her designing a Power App that had experienced product managers scratching their heads in awe. Welcome to the panel, Ash.
Thank you for having me on, Michelle. My name is Ashley. My pronouns are they, she, and for our vision impaired listeners, I have dark brown shoulder length hair and am wearing a black and white spiderweb pattern shirt and glasses.
Thanks, Ash. Why don't you tell us a bit more about what an MVP is?
Honestly, when I was nominated, I did not even know what an MVP was. My dad had recently become one, but I didn't know what that meant and I didn't bother to ask because kids don't really pay that much attention to their parents. But I found out that it stands for Microsoft Most Valuable Professional, and it's awarded to people who are experts in their field of technology and who share their expertise with their community. So just like with the ambassadors, you can't just be good at what you do. You also need to share your passion with technology with others by doing things like speaking at events or writing blog posts or making YouTube videos, all those kinds of community contributions that help others to learn and grow with you.
I was reading your blog the other day, and I think it's impossible not to read your story without shedding a tear. Why don't you tell everyone how you got your MVP? I mean, the first time.
So it all started when I was 18. My dad had been teaching me about Power Platform, specifically Power Apps, in exchange for pocket money, because he knew that it was going to be very beneficial to get into early, and I knew that I really needed cash, and so I was willing to sit through anything if it meant I was getting paid. I didn't have a job back then. I suffered from very severe social anxiety, so all the usual first jobs that people have, like retail and all that sort of stuff, they were just completely impossible for me, especially since I couldn't even bring myself to go to job interviews, and if I did, I was too scared to speak during them. So we settled on this Power Apps thing. A few weeks into learning, someone from Microsoft posted a tweet challenging people to build a fidget spinner in Power Apps. And after a lot of nagging from my dad, I agreed to enter the competition. So I built my solution, I posted it to Twitter in the middle of the night, and when I woke up, there was just this flood of messages asking how I'd done it, and people asking me to speak at events. I did not know who any of those people were, but my dad very quickly let me know that some of them were very important, like the technical advisor to the CEO of Microsoft. But even the program manager for the Power Apps team was telling me that my solution was really cool and that they hadn't seen anything like it before. I kind of just assumed that people were being nice to me because, like, I'm a teenager and I've never done any work in IT before, but I started working on it more seriously after that, and I grew to really love Power Apps. Working with the Power Platform made me feel a lot more secure in my abilities, and eventually I built up the confidence to start posting YouTube videos, talking at events, and running training sessions and classes for students and young people like myself. Very quickly, some MVPs contacted me and asked if I'd be okay with them nominating me, and I said yes, and the rest is history.
Wow, what a story. And now, last but not least, Giovanni Kitnatsu. I remember when you first walked in the door to the Microsoft office for an interview with me, and I already knew who you were. TEDx speaker, multi-award winner of a bunch of hackathons and challenges. I knew having you on our team would bring us nothing but joy. Welcome, Gia.
Hi, Michelle. Excited to be here. I am Gia. My pronoun is she, her. For our vision impaired listeners, I have a bowl-shaped cut of black hair, which make my face look like a fishbowl. And I'm wearing a red blazer with a black t-shirt saying my head is in the cloud.
So Gia, you started in the Microsoft grad program, and now you're one of the first associate cloud solution architects. Why don't you tell us about those roles?
Sure, Michelle. So with the grad program, it is called Microsoft Aspired, which is an incredible 2-year support program for thousands of new hires who join Microsoft directly from university and apprenticeships. They come from every corner of the world, bringing their aspiration, anxiety, their talent, potential. They're hopeful and excited for the journey ahead, and I was one of them. So in such critical moment of growth and transition, the program helps us find a way and our place in this big tech world. We are encouraged to explore new terrain, new skills, build community, and embrace being innovative leaders. We do a lot of things, additional challenges on top of our work to for us to discover how we can make an impact in our role, our team, Microsoft, and beyond. And in the before times, we would travel all over the place for training and networking, and we would have gotten to meet all of the Microsoft leaders and gain insight from them. But I joined during the pandemic, so I actually never got to go anywhere. Anyways, when I first got the grad role, I was in a relationship management focused kind of role, which is not super technical. And I was about a year into the role, and the pandemic, guess what? It's actually forced us to innovate and change in ways that we didn't expect. So our Australian leadership team created the role of Associate Class Solution Architect to enable more diversities into technical roles, bringing new ways to our thinking for our business, and provide more a supportive pathway for junior people to learn and grow with mentoring, side-by-side job shadowing. And I can see that they were willing to invest in this role. It was such a great opportunity for me to change my career path and try new things. So I put myself forward, and now I'm doing that. So since I've been in this Class Solution Architect role in the last 5 months, I found that technical learning can be challenging because the amount of information that my brain needs to process. I learn best when I write and when I reflect. So I have been starting writing a weekly blog post on LinkedIn with the hashtag of 100 weeks of Azure data and AI to share what I learned and build with Azure data and AI services to reinforce what I learned. And, recently I actually got a couple of messages on LinkedIn saying that they have been following what I put out there and they learn new thing too. So this 100-week series blog actually was inspired by Daniela Matthews, my colleague, who was the first associate CSA in Australia.
Wow, Gia, that sounds like a couple of really great opportunities. Can you tell us how you got those roles?
How I got those roles. So for the grad role, I first applied for the grad role in Thailand, which I got rejected. I was confused because I thought I did quite well in the interview. There was that vibe of, I want to work with you and me too kind of vibe, and honestly, I felt discouraged when I read the email saying, sorry, I wasn't the right candidate. But I didn't let it stop there. So I reached out to the recruiter and asked her how I can make myself a better or successful candidate next time. Turns out that the recruiter noticed that I was in Perth at that time, and there was another role open in Australia, a grad role. And she asked me if I wanted to transfer my application and started the interview process for the grad role again in Australia. And I was like, yes, of course, I would love to be in the process. I would start anything all over again. And then I took the feedback from the recruiter. I got to interview, and actually, well, Michelle mentioned that already, that Michelle interviewed me. So Michelle was the first person to interview me. I asked for feedback from Michelle again, and then I took that to the next interview, and the next interview, and the next interview, and here I am in Microsoft actually. And then, did you also ask me for the second role as well for the Class Solution Architect, Michelle?
Yep.
So
yeah, tell us both.
Yes. So with the Class Solution Architect, so after a year in, I was just browsing casually on microsoftcareer.com for my friend actually, and I saw this Class Solution Architect for junior people, and I was like, oh, what is this? And I was actually too scared to apply because it was like, oh, I don't have technical experience. I didn't have these 10 years experience for Class Solution Architect and data and AI. But you know what? I just throw my hat in the ring anyways. I studied data and AI certification, the foundation stuff. And I was getting feedback from the people that has been in the role for a while, and just trying to understand what is involved being a class solution architect. I took that away, got through the interview, and then there was multiple stages of interview. So again, the same pattern with the graduate role. I get the feedback from the previous interview and take that to the next and to the next, and here I am in the class solution architect role.
Well done. So now we know how you all make an impact through these incredible roles, but maybe you have some top tips for the audience on how they can make an impact too. Sahi, top tip?
Yes, I think my top tip would be, Michelle, as a student, grab every opportunity that's on your way, because you don't know where what takes you. And do not underestimate yourself. But if you ask me, how do I find those opportunities? Networking is the key. Attend the boot camps and workshops that match your interests, and you will find an opportunity that will lead to your success or your goal for sure.
That's so true. You've got to be in it to win it, right? If you don't throw your hat in the ring, then you have zero chance of getting the job or getting the opportunity. Yeah, it's it's a philosophy that I definitely follow myself these days as well. The more things that I can sign up for that look interesting, the more I will try to do.
Absolutely.
Ash, what have you got?
I would say, and this is something that I am still working on, is don't downplay yourself or your achievements. You know, hype yourself up, be proud of yourself. Brag about yourself, not like brag, but, you know, talk about yourself and what you've done, and be open about all the cool things that you've done. Because if you're trying to get to a position where you can, you know, make an impact, or you want to get to a certain position, you're not going to get there unless you can show people, hey, I've done these cool things, and they are cool things. And you should believe in me, and I should believe in me. Everyone needs to believe in themselves just a little bit more.
That is so true. Imposter syndrome is real. It's a terrible thing. That voice in your head that holds you back from opportunity is not your friend. Where it tells you you are not good enough, where it tells you there are people better than you, where it tells you to not even try because you don't have a chance. That voice is not helping you. So shut it out. Do not listen. Throw your hat in the ring, and yeah, big yourself up, as you say. If that voice is saying one thing, you've got to have a stronger voice in your head that says, no, I am good, I am doing my best work, and I am proud of who I am and what I'm doing. Wonderful, and you should be. Gia, what's your top tip?
My top tips. If you decide to go all out and take whatever opportunities that comes in your way, like what Sahiti said, it's normal to feel uncomfortable when we learn new things and we try new things. Embrace that, you know, seek that discomfort. It's a sign that tells us that we are growing, we are breaking out of our own little shell, and nobody ever say that growing is comfortable anyways, right? So seek discomfort.
That is so true. I think that it's not something that I learned early on in my career like you all have. I think that I have been, I'm not even going to say how long, but let's say more than 20 years in my career. And it's only recently that I realized that it's normal that you should be scared all the time, that you should be anxious about the stuff that you're doing because you're not exactly sure. Because if you were doing stuff that you could do perfectly well, then you wouldn't be growing, you wouldn't be learning, you wouldn't be challenging yourself, and you would be doing very boring things and practically sleeping in your chair, doing the same old, same old. So yeah, grab the new opportunities, try new things, don't be afraid. Oh, and when I look at you all, I just think ask your community, ask the people around you for help, because the number of times I struggle with things that I can't get working, and then I call in Gia or one of the others, and immediately the thing starts working. I think it's the universe's way of saying ask for help from those people around you. That's what your community, your colleagues, your friends, your network are for. Cool. Okay, so now we're going to open up to our listeners and viewers at home for a live Q&A. Let's see what we've got. Hi, everyone. Okay, so now we are back and we can go to questions. There are not a lot in the chat, and so if you have questions that you want to, if you want to ask the panel, then go ahead and put those in the chat. Let's see what we have. So Ashley, you were talking about being inspired by your dad. Can you talk a bit more about that? Your dad's an IT professional?
Yes. So he has worked in the industry for a very long time, for as long as I can remember, which, I mean, I'm only 22, so I don't know. For me, it's like my entire life. I don't know. But he's been working in the industry for quite a while. He's done like SharePoint, he's done a lot of office stuff, just all sorts of things that I do not fully understand or know about. But yeah, he has always kind of pushed me to get into IT things. And he's always, even since I was very little, he would teach me about, you know, just very basic things about technology. You know, I'd be driving to school and he'd say to me, you know, oh, do you want to learn about IP addresses? And it's like, not really, but that was always just a part of me growing up. So yeah.
Very cool. And he's an MVP as well. So.
He is.
Excellent. So it's amazing to see how far each of the speakers have come. What sort of habits have you found most useful for your continued growth? Sahi, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure, Michelle. So I think for a continued growth, you need to find out opportunities. So the first thing is you need to know what is happening out there. So to do that, I would say follow LinkedIn, your ideal people who you want to follow, where you think your interests match the person interest. So you can see what are the opportunities out there. That's how I got my opportunities. So when I started ambassador program, they posted about the ambassador program, one of the person related to this. That's how I came to know. And then internships. I know there are many internships out there, many opportunities out there. So if you want to go to their websites and search everything, it's going to be very time taking and hard. So go for platforms like LinkedIn where you can easily find the opportunities. And the habits you have to follow is don't give up. So we start the applications and we give up in the between because it's a lot of process. But be patient. That's the main key. That's the habit. Be patient. Go for it and complete it when you start it. Show the commitment, and that will take a long way.
Excellent. Gia, what do you got?
I think you just need to keep doing bits by bits every day. So if you want to have a habit, it's not like you do it once and then it becomes your habit, right? So for example, I also do cycling at home. I will jump onto my bike every morning and trying to do the training. And I've been doing it for 3 months already. And my cycling techniques and my leg power has improved. I know this has nothing to do with tech, but that is just, it would apply to anything that you're trying to set up the habit or trying to improve on your growth or anything that you put your mind to do it.
Cool. Ash, do you want to have a go at that one as well?
I think in terms of growth, just in general, both in like career and skills, and then also just as a person, I think one of my main things was to make sure that I was always taking care of my mental health, and I was always actually, you know, making sure I'm taking time for myself, listening to myself, listening to my body. Like, I'm not one of the kinds of people who can spend all day and all night studying. Like, that just doesn't work for me, because personally, I found I need a lot of relaxation time to be able to have a good balance and to keep myself mentally stable. So that was something that, even though I thought, you know, I got to keep pushing myself, I got to keep studying more and more and trying to learn more and more, in reality, what actually helped me the most was listening to my body, taking some time back and letting myself just relax from everything.
Those are great tips. As everyone knows, I have a couple of little Shih Tzus, and I like to follow them for mental health advice, in that Leo and Snickers know that it's important to nap, it's important to go out and get exercise, and it's important to eat. And when they want love and affection, they ask for it. So I always ask myself, what would my fur babies do? There's another one for you, Ashley, on oh wait, I've lost the question. There was another one there for Ashley about, oh, what was the most complex Power App that you have ever built?
Okay, so I've done a lot so far. Over the years, I've done quite a few. I think the most complicated one that we've built is actually one that I started building right at the start of my journey, and we are still building it now to this day, because we just keep adding new things to it. It's what we call the Universal Audit App. So if you if you Google that, we've posted blog posts and like YouTube videos about it, and so you can see more about what that is. But that has been like a solid 4, almost 5 years in the making, where, you know, we've done a lot of stuff with it, and then we think we're done with it, and we go, well, there are some other great things we could do with it, so let's add that in. And so we are still working on that right now.
Oh, well, yeah, I don't envy you. So here's a good one. Is there any way to really validate where we are in our careers like now, and like, how do you know what is the next role to go for? How do you know what to do next? This is from someone trying to find the right path for themselves. Anyone?
Yeah. I think that was not really, like, you wouldn't know it's the right part, right? But when you decide to do it, it's become the right part, because that is the way that we chose already. And for me, when I applied for the associate class solution architect role, when I read the job description, I was like, oh, I have a feeling that this excites me, and this is going to be my next move. Actually, I didn't know if it was going to be my next move. It just excites me. I just feel so overwhelmed. I feel like I want this, I want this, I want this, and I just go for it. And now looking back, of course, it was a really good choice, because that was the choice I made, and I made the most out of it. So I think the key is to look around, trying to do as much as you can to really help yourself validate whether it's going to be the right thing for you or not, because it's for you, it's your life. So just do as much as you can.
Real quick for Sahi, you're looking around right now at what you're going to do next step in your life. How are you doing that?
Yeah, so I don't think we can really figure out just after you graduate, because I can also see any tips for graduating students in the questions. You cannot figure out immediately. So just go with what is making you feel happy and finding it suits your interest. You know, you should be happy with what you're doing instead of thinking you're stagnated at a point or something. As long as you're growing, and it's okay to fail, you learn from the mistakes. So don't be upset when you fail. Just learn from it and go ahead and see that you're happy with what you're doing.
You've applied for like really a lot of different things, and I guess as those come in, acceptances or rejections, you'll look at those choices and then decide which one looks the best to you at that time, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I think I went through many rejections, and at the end I found out my interest and I went with a company. So, and we have to figure out from here if I'm happy with it or I want to grow further.
Well, that's perfect. Well, if there are any questions that come in the chat after this session, I think we can still answer them online. So we're going to hang around. Find us all on social media. You can find us all on Twitter, in fact, and ask us questions if you have them. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of Ignite. We have really enjoyed having you here in our session. And yeah, have a great Ignite.